Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back to Around the Boxes. I am DA Comix. This is, of course, my live stream series where I'm hanging out around my boxes of comic books, showing you guys my new pickups and additions to the collection. We got a great episode lined up for you. Been nailing it with the weekly episodes lately. Let's get a round of applause for that. Come on now. We've had an episode every week for like the last 3-4 weeks, I think, so crushing it. Not so much over on Webheads, but that is entirely JP's fault, so everyone make sure you comment down below Webheads win, so I can pressure JP into that. My hair's a complete mess today, but you know what, we're just kind of going with it. I didn't feel like taking another shower right just to film this, so, or stream this. So we're just kind of winging it, but got a good amount of comic books this week. Got a solid little stack here. Mix of back issues and a couple new books. It's actually mostly back issues. So very good week this week. I'm very excited about it. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to mention. I don't really think so. I think that we're just ready to dive into this thing. So yeah. Been working on the maintenance side of my comic collection. I think I showed last week I rearranged all the boxes, got new labels, got a shelf so that I can actually get into the bottom boxes. This week I had to get more bags and boards. I got more labels because I used up all my labels and I wanted to make a couple new labels for some new series. And yeah. So I guess we can just go ahead and jump into the book. So we got some modern back issues. They're not really back issues. They're like from the last year or so, but just catching up on some books. Ugh. Sorry, my nose itches. Just some books I picked up. I thought they were cool. I got Wonder Woman 80th Anniversary, #1. It's the 100-page kind of 80th Anniversary special. I haven't had a chance to read this yet. I read the first story, but I haven't had a chance to read the whole story yet. But I just picked this up because I was at the comic store and I saw it, and I like Wonder Woman, and I want to start picking up more Wonder Woman comics, so I decided to pick this one up, and yeah, pretty cool book. Another DC book that I picked up, we have Dark Knights of Steel. I don't know if I can get the glare to not be so bad. #1, it's actually issues 1 through 3 in a extra large size book. I picked this up because I really wanted to read this book. When I got this book, I was flipping through it, and there was an ad for Dark Knights of Steel, and I was like, that looks super cool. So when I was at the comic store today, I went and checked if they had it, and I saw that they had this, which was 1 through 3. So I decided to pick this up. Hopefully they'll continue doing this with 4 through 6, 7 through 9, and then 10 through 12, and I can get the whole series. But I really just wanted to read it because it seems really cool. One of the things I love about DC is all their Elseworld stories, so this being like a fantasy take on DC superheroes is super, super, super cool. Haven't read it yet. But definitely looking forward to reading that, because that's going to be really, really cool. So, a couple of good books there. Now for some new books that I did read. This book actually came out last week, but I could not find it at my comic store. I thought it was sold out, but then I saw it on the shelf today. That is Carnage #5. Love this cover. It's got a bunch of old comic book covers in the background, kind of in the shattering. There's Thanos. You got Spider-Gwen up there. I think that's Amazing Fantasy up here. It's hard to see on the camera with all the glare, but this is kind of the end of the first arc of this series, and setting up their journey into hell for the next arc. Definitely loving it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you like Carnage as a character, you definitely should be picking up this series, both because it's good, but also because I want them to keep it going. I want them to keep an ongoing Carnage series going forward. If Venom gets a series, I think Carnage deserves a series. So definitely happy to picking that up. And I threw this book in Mylar because that cover is just beautiful. So I wanted that to be shining in that Mylar. Now, speaking of beautiful covers, this next book does not have one. It's Amazing Fantasy 1000. This cover's awful. John Romita Jr., like, what the heck is this? I'm pretty sure it's the exact same pose as his upcoming Chasm cover, and that is also terrible. So, hate his art, hate the cover. But this book, I'm going to open this up, but I have some thoughts about this book. One, obviously, I was gonna pick it up. Right? It's a big Spider-Man issue celebrating the 60th anniversary of Amazing Fantasy 15 with a ton of creators lined up. Dan Slott, Jonathan Hickman, Giuseppe Camuncoli, just a few names that stand out to me. Ryan Stegman, what story did he draw? Spider-Man versus Conspiraton. Oh, I didn't even pick up on that. Yeah, I love Ryan Stegman's art. I see it now, but I didn't even realize it when I was reading it. My only problem with this book... Well, two problems. One, this cover's awful. And they had some variant covers, but I didn't really see any variant covers that were that great to me. I feel like this should have been a cover swipe of Fantasy 15, but... My biggest problem with this book, and this is really a nitpicky complaint, but this is not issue 1000. I hate when comic books do this. Marvel has been pretty good about it. DC's done it before. Like, I know they had an Action Comics 1000 and a Detective Comics 1000 before they actually got to 1000. So now there's an Action Comics 1000 and a Detective 1000 because they actually got there. But I remember back in, I think, the 90s or 2000s they did that. My problem with this is Amazing Fantasy 16. You know? It's not actually 1000. They only made it 1000 because they just wanted to be like, it's a big issue. But I feel like they could have just said Amazing Fantasy 60th anniversary or something. You know, they could have called it something else. Calling it issue 1000 is just confusing to new collectors because they're going to see this and be like, wow, there's 1000 issues of Amazing Fantasy. And there isn't. Now, one thing that would have been cool, what this should have been, in my opinion, I've been getting into a lot of DC Comics recently. You guys know this. And one thing that I love that DC Comics has is they have Detective Comics, which is what Batman first appeared in. They have Action Comics, which is what Superman first appeared in. But then they also have Batman and Superman. So both Batman and Superman and other characters have kind of two main series. They have their Batman series, they have their Detective Comics series. They should do that with Spider-Man and Amazing Fantasy. I don't know why they haven't up until now, but I think it would have been really cool if instead of this being Amazing Fantasy 1000, it could have been Amazing Fantasy 1, Legacy 16, and then have it be an ongoing series now going forward. Have it be another Spider-Man series written by, you know, a different writer, different artist, so we would have multiple Spider-Man books. I think that would have been really cool, because then you could collect Amazing Fantasy 17, 18, 19. It would be like the Detective Comics or Action Comics of Spider-Man, where it's, he first appeared in Amazing Fantasy, this is Amazing Fantasy. And if they did that, I would love that. I would hop on board and I would collect it. And I think this was a missed opportunity to do that. I think in the 60th anniversary, they could have done Amazing Fantasy number 1, have it be Legacy 16, and then just keep going from there. I would have loved to see that. I know they're about to do a Spider-Man series written by Dan Slott, so I don't know why they didn't just do that as this. But it is what it is. As far as the actual stories in here, this is just a collection of a bunch of stories paying tribute to Spider-Man. Some I enjoyed more than others. The first one was pretty good. I didn't love the art, but the story was very good. The one written by Dan Slott, where it's a 60-year-old Spider-Man, was definitely interesting. It was pretty face value, you know. It wasn't anything crazy, but I definitely enjoyed it. I liked the Ryan Stegman story, the Spider-Man versus Conspirator. That was cool. The one where he spills ice cream on himself was fun. You know, there was just a lot of different little fun stories. Some of them I barely even remember, but I was a little disappointed by the story written by Jonathan Hickman, because when I saw Jonathan Hickman's name attached to this, I got very excited. And it's not that that story was bad, it just wasn't anything crazy. I don't know what I really expected, but I always hold Hickman to the highest expectations because I know how incredible of a writer he is. So, all in all, I don't think this book is going to be a very big deal, to be honest. I think it was a fun celebration of the 60th anniversary, but I don't see this book really becoming valuable in time. I don't see it being a big collector's piece. It's going to go in my miscellaneous section, and it's probably going to sit there and not really accrue much value, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe it'll be worth something one day, but you know, you see these big milestone books. You know, you look at Amazing Spider-Man 700 and how much that has accrued value over time. You look at 800, 900 will probably as well. Something like this just isn't that big of a deal, in my opinion. So I wasn't that excited about it, and it was okay. That's really all I can say. It was okay. But that is all the new books. That was the only book that I had that came out this week, and then Carnage 5 from last week. So I'm going to dive into the back issues. We got some back issues to go into. I got some of these online. I got some of these at the comic store today. Really just trying to fill in the collection. Specifically, these first few, I wanted to get some DC back issues because I've just recently started picking up DC back issues. Specifically started with some Silver Age books. Something is off here, sorry. Specifically started with Silver Age books, but I wanted to fill in kind of the in-between. I have some Silver Age books and I have some modern books. I wanted to fill in the Bronze Age kind of in-between. So I just looked for some books that I thought looked really cool. So this first one I got is Detective Comics 650. I got it because it has a dragon on the cover and a knight riding a horse, which, you know, I love Dungeons and Dragons and all things fantasy. So this was right up my alley. Got it for a couple bucks. Thought it was just a cool book to pick up. I also got Detective Comics 652. No, I did not get this because of the half-naked woman on the cover. But it is the Huntress, which I thought was pretty cool. She was in Arrow, and I knew her character from that. So just thought it was a cool book to pick up. Also, a couple bucks on this one. So definitely a cool pickup there. I have a few more Detective Comics that are coming in the mail, so those will probably be in around the boxes next week, if not the week after. So definitely some stuff coming down the line there. This book I picked up today at the comic store. This is Batman 397. Now, this is a second printing. I did not realize that when I picked it out at the store. It's not a huge deal, but when I got home and was logging it into my app, I realized it is, in fact, a second printing. Again, not a big deal. I mostly just wanted it because it's a really cool two-face cover. So that'll just be a nice little addition to the collection there. And then the next book is a beauty. Got this one on eBay. This is a Silver Age book. Beautiful cover. Batman number 204. Now, I picked this one up because I saw the cover when I was browsing eBay, and I just loved it. I love the moon in the background, the skyscraper over there, the Batman's pose with his cape flying, and all these guys running at him. Definitely a beautiful cover and a beautiful copy. I would say this is probably like a 5.055. Displays really well. I got it in the Mylar to show off this beautiful cover. So definitely an awesome pickup. Very happy to have that. That is a solid book. So continuing to fill out the DC collection. I'm working on it. Slowly but surely, we're filling it out. But that is all my DC pickups. So only those few Batman books for this week. Should have more on the way, so we'll have more in the coming weeks. Next up, I got some Marvel back issues. Specifically, I've been in a Ghost Rider mood. I was helping my friend in town who's kind of getting into comic collecting, and he had a couple boxes of old comics that we've been bagging and boarding and sorting and all of that. And he had a really cool Ghost Rider comic, and I remembered back to when I was first getting into comics, when I was a kid, just picking up 90s back issues. A couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. I had gotten a couple Ghost Rider books. That was one of the series that I would look at. I would look at Amazing Spider-Man, I'd look at Ghost Rider, I'd look at Avengers, Captain America. And so I went into my box and pulled out my old... I only had 2 Ghost Rider books. I actually have them. Let's see. I had Ghost Rider number 18 and number 25. And I just love specifically Volume 2 of Ghost Rider. Volume 1 is cool, but I just love the Volume 2 title, and the art is just so cool. The incredible. And so after looking at those, I wanted to get some more. I was kind of feeling a Ghost Rider kick. So I looked at the store today to see what they had in their back issue boxes, and I have a few coming in the mail. That'll be probably next week. But first is actually not a Ghost Rider book. This is the Spider-Man issue number 7. And as you saw last week, I picked up a couple of the Spider-Man back issues. And I really like this series that ran in the 90s. And I want to pick up more of these. I would like to collect the whole run because it's not too long. I think it only goes up to the 90s maybe. But this is an awesome Todd McFarlane cover featuring Ghost Rider and Spider-Man. Ghost Rider wants the Hobgoblin, and Spidey's caught in the middle. definitely a awesome book filling out that Spider-Man collection. So definitely, I'm gonna make a tab for Spider-Man, for only Spider-Man, and put those in there because I now have a few of them, and I'd like to get more. So I want to have a space for that. I also made a tab for Ghost Rider. Because the rest of these books this week are all Ghost Rider Volume 2 back issues. Like I said, I have a couple more coming in the mail, and I'll probably pick up a few more in the coming weeks. But this first book is Ghost Rider number 16, again featuring Spider-Man and Hobgoblin. Seems like there's a lot of crossover with Ghost Rider and Hobgoblin, and that's super cool. I think that's a perfect fit. Beautiful copy. All of these are 9.0 plus, 9.2, 9.4, maybe even 9.6. But definitely love that Hobgoblin cover. And that's continued in Ghost Rider number 17. Another Hobgoblin cover. Ghost Rider says, "Keep your distance, Spider-Man. Hobgoblin is mine." We got the orange title up there. Then we have Ghost Rider number 19. With Mephisto on the cover. Says, "At the hands of Mephisto, suicide is born." It's got the awesome blue title up here. That's one of the things I love about these Ghost Rider books is the titles just look so good. With the Marvel logo up here with the flaming skull, and then the art that they were doing on these covers is incredible, especially the next few. But incredible art. Loving that. Very cool. Then we got Ghost Rider number 20. I threw this one in Mylar because this is one of my favorite covers that I picked up. You got the close-up of Ghost Rider using his penance stare on Zodiac. We got the purple text with the black flames. So cool. Love the way that looks. Cover art by R. Wagner. Never really heard of him before, but I am loving his art because this cover is incredible. So super awesome book there. And then the next one is Ghost Rider number 34. This is Ghost Rider's first kill comes back to haunt him. We got a hooded red figure jumping towards Ghost Rider. This one has the white text with the purple flames. I just love that. I love that. All of these covers are just so cool. I could just sit and stare at these comics for so long because they are awesome. And then the last book I picked up is Ghost Rider number 45. Slightly different Marvel logo. I think this is more kind of mid to late 90s when they really started changing up their look. It says Midnight Suns up at the top. Obviously, Midnight Suns video game coming soon, which I'm looking forward to, and also probably Midnight Suns movie or Disney Plus show coming down the line. I really hope they do it right and make it dark and gritty and cool. I would love to see Ghost Rider in the MCU, but I don't want to see him be goofy. I want him to be serious and cool. But I put this one in Mylar as well because I just love this cover. It's Ghost Rider throwing the chain whip forward. Got the red kind of blood flowing down behind the black text of the title. Siege of Darkness Part 10, this is. So that is just an awesome book. But yeah, so those are some Ghost Rider back issues I wanted to add to the collection. I think that's kind of a new collecting goal of mine. I would really love to collect all of Ghost Rider Volume 2. I really do like the character of Ghost Rider. I just haven't really been as into him in the past few years as I was when I was a kid. But definitely getting back into him. I think he's so cool. And I think Volume 2 only ran for, I think, not even 100 issues. So it's definitely very feasible to collect the entire run. Especially because it's not really that expensive either. I mean, most of these books are $3-4 a pop. So definitely going to be picking up more of those in the near future. I want to get the entire run. I think that would be a really awesome thing to accomplish. But those are definitely the highlight of my week. I would say my favorite cover that I got is definitely this one. I love the pink text with the black flames. I don't know how well the light is showing it. Let me see if I get like a better angle here. I don't know. But that's a beautiful book. Beautiful book. Ghost Rider's so cool. I'm also going to pick up the new Ghost Rider series. They have I think it's Volume 6 that's out right now. It's like 5 issues in, and I wanted to pick it up when it started, but my store didn't have issue 1, and then I just never really got on it. So I'm probably going to pick that up when the next issue comes out. I think it's the beginning of a new storyline, so gonna pick that up, and you will see that right here on Around the Boxes. So that's pretty much it this week. It's weird. I had a lot more comics than I have the past few weeks, but it was a much shorter episode. Probably because I didn't have as much new books where I talk about the story, whereas these are just back issues that I did not read. But yeah, loving Ghost Rider, loving Batman. I got a lot of Detective and Batman back issues. I want to get more Superman books because I only have the one Action Comics. So I'm definitely in the near future looking to get more Action Comics back issues. I almost got one at the store today, but I decided to get the Ghost Riders instead. But yeah, so that'll be coming in the near weeks. I'll be adding some more Action Comics, adding more Batman, more Detective Comics. I have a Silver Age Justice League book on the way, which I'll hopefully be able to show you guys next week. Want to get more Wonder Woman, more Justice League, more Ghost Rider, more Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. Tons of good stuff. So if you want to see all of that, I will be showcasing all of those books here on Around the Boxes as I get them, adding to the collection. Also, I mentioned it last week, and I've been working on it. I have a comic collection series coming soon. I will be doing a series of videos showcasing my entire comic book collection because I have not done that in years, and I don't think I have a comic collection that's actually public on YouTube. So that'll be awesome, so look forward to that. I'll probably be doing it one series at a time, so like I'll do an Action Comics collection, and then I'll do an Amazing Spider-Man collection in multiple parts. Avengers collection, Batman collection, all of that, and kind of work my way through the big stuff, and then I'll do the little stuff like miscellaneous, just kind of showing the different books that I have. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me here. So thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. Like I said, comment down below Webheads when ? But also comment your thoughts down below on any of these books I picked up. What are you picking up right now? I'm picking up Ghost Rider and Batman. What are you guys picking up right now? I'd love to hear how your collection's coming along in the comments down below. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. Like I mentioned, I do these streams once every week or every other week, showing new pickups. And I also have a podcast, Webheads, which will be coming with a new episode soon. But I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to let you guys go. Something weird that's been happening lately, when I end the stream, for some reason it cuts off the outro for the actual video. So if you're watching this as a video and all of a sudden it cuts off, that's why. I don't know how to stop it. I'm trying to figure it out. But I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a buffer so that they hear that before it cuts off. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.